Hello everyone out there, this is Terry talking to you today about the Venus retrograde happening on July 22nd, and Venus entered Leo on June 5th, where she's been hanging out with her old pal Mars. And Venus and Mars together, they are just a powerhouse couple, so charismatic but so fiery and so much energy. When Venus and Mars come together in Leo, there can be some tempers flaring in your relationships. There's a lot of energy there, and Venus and Mars together in Leo likes to roar. So maybe you're already feeling some relationship issues coming up with those two in Leo, and then it's only going to get more intense as Venus goes retrograde on July 22nd. We're right in it, and Venus is sort of the goddess planet of love and money and going after your heart's desire and manifesting what it is you want. And the sign of Leo is all about royalty, and Leos love to get what they want too. Leo is the star. It's very dramatic. Leo is the star of fame, the lion. A lot of people who are famous have strong Leo, lioness, that lion aspect in their chart. So let me know if you are a Leo, or if you have a strong Leo, then you will be feeling Venus going retrograde in your sign of Leo. But we all have Leo somewhere, right? No one here gets out without having Leo somewhere in the 12 houses of your chart. So if you know your chart, if you've had your chart done, you can get a free chart and just look at what house Leo resides in, and that is where you're really going to be feeling Venus going retrograde. And I don't love to do those astrology reports where I say, oh, let me do a Venus retrograde for all the signs, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, because honestly, we are all different in the time that we were born. Our chart is going to show up differently. For me, I have Leo in my ascendant. I have Leo rising and Leo south node. So that is where I'm going to be feeling this Venus retrograde energy. And you have Leo somewhere in your chart in a particular house, and wherever you have Venus or Leo in 15 degrees to 20 degrees, that's where Venus is really going to be hanging out the most as she goes from evening star into her beautiful pentagram 5-pointed star pattern. We're going to go ahead and drop a link here to that, or we'll drop some B-roll of that Venus pattern. It's so beautiful. It looks like a star or a beautiful flower that Venus travels through on her way to becoming the morning star, where she will show up in October when she stations direct as the morning star. And it's just this beautiful pattern that happens. But this particular Venus retrograde is really going to be hitting that Leo 15 degrees to 20 degrees. So look in your chart for you specifically. Do you have any planets? Do you have sun, moon, any of the powerful planets like Jupiter or Saturn or Pluto? Then you will really be feeling it. But I think we are all going to be feeling this Venus retrograde, because Leo is the star. Leo comes in with so much grabbing your attention energy that none of us will be able to ignore Venus going retrograde in the sign of Leo. And there's also this really fun thing that I've been studying about tell if Venus was retrograde when you were born. I have Venus retrograde, and you can also calculate if Venus was the morning star, which has a particular energy that we'll talk about, or is Venus the evening star when you were born. So how you do this is, it's really pretty easy. If you look at your astrology chart, you can determine your Venus type by locating your sun, wherever your sun is in your natal chart. And if Venus shows up clockwise from the sun, then you are a morning star Venus. That's a very potent energy, this morning star Venus. This is when Venus rises in her full glory power. And these are people who can really manifest what they want. They can just make things happen. You know, Venus can get what she wants, and you can just snap your fingers and things will come to you. And if Venus is positioned counterclockwise from the sun, then you are an evening star Venus, and that is a more subtle energy with Venus. And if you have Venus retrograde, you may have to work extra hard to have success in relationships. And I'm a Venus retrograde evening star in Scorpio, so I have definitely had to do the work and the therapy in relationships. But I would love to know, if you calculate it and you figure out if you're Venus morning star or Venus evening star, or if you have that little R next to your Venus, then you are a Venus retrograde. Let me know what your Venus is in the comments, and I'll tell you what that means. And when Venus re-emerges as that morning star this fall, like I said, she will be rising up in all of her divine feminine energy. This is when Venus is so empowered. And this fall, this October, will be an incredible time for that rebirth energy. It's a great conception energy. So if you were trying to have a baby or you were working on your fertility, the fertility energy will be so strong coming this October 2023. And you can also use this, fertility means more than just having babies. You can use this fertile, potent Venus morning star energy to launch your projects forward, to make things happen. And we will all be finding our deeper purposes in October. And for whatever it is that you want to birth into the world, maybe you want to write a book or start a podcast or, you know, do some kind of artwork this October when Venus rises up again as morning star, we will all be feeling more resilient. Finally, this will be the first real spark of resilience since 2020. And so we can stop quiet quitting, and now we will have the energy to really thrive and succeed in our careers and move the pendulum forward and really get that forward going momentum. And it's a wonderful time this fall to awaken in the dawn just before the sun comes out in the morning time, and just look into the sky and see if you can find that Venus morning star this fall, because it is really something to witness when Venus is in her full glory. I swear she shines brighter as a morning star. So just keep that in mind as we go through this Venus retrograde, that things are going to get better on the other side. But whenever a planet stations retrograde, it really is more intense. And so we have a lot of intensity coming this summer with Venus in Leo retrograde. And Leo can bring an energy of ego, and Venus wants to get what she wants. So there can be a lot of competition with Venus retrograde in Leo, and a lot of people clamoring for attention. And we can't always all have the spotlight. The Leo wants the spotlight, wants to be in theater. I see a lot of creativity coming for the theater arts with this Venus retrograde in Leo. And then especially when Venus rises up in morning star, this is a great time to do some dramatic theater productions. But not everybody can have that lead role. So that's the kind of energy we will see. And it can even be affecting love relationships, where maybe you feel your partner isn't giving you the full spotlight, the full attention, that their attention is going to too many other things, and you want them to spend more attention. And we become really goal-oriented in our love relationships, of wanting true love and wanting this really passionate intensity, because Leo rules the heart. We were talking in the last reading about that star of Regulus in the heart of the lion that's been coming in really strong, this Lion, Leo, July, August season as well. And so there's a lot of the heart wants what it wants, and it needs to feel that it's getting their full attention from your partner. And if you're not getting that, you might not be happy. And it reminds me so much of that Pretenders song. I know I'm totally dating myself, but that song that I'm gonna make you see nobody else here, no one like me, I'm special. If you know that song, so special. I gotta have some of your attention, give it to me. And that is like the theme song for this Leo Venus retrograde. We just want all the attention. We want to be the special one. We want to be the spotlight. And when you're not getting that attention in your relationships, your friendships, maybe at work, you're not going to be happy. And so we may have the lion roaring out for attention. And I really think of social media when I think of this, that everybody on social media wants their reel to be seen or their post to get noticed. And there's a lot of competition for like who can do the craziest, most vibrant, beautiful. Venus is beauty, love, art, and beauty. So we will be seeing a lot of love, art, and beauty in our world expressed in this very Leo dramatic way. But there can also be this ego competition over who can have the best visuals and who will be seen and heard and who is going to roar the loudest with that lion's ego. And we may see just some outlandish attempts to be seen and heard and to get that attention and to be the special one in this Leo Venus retrograde. And I'm getting some mosquitoes, so I'm going to have to make this a quick report. Oh my goodness. But remember, Leo is also known to be one of the most authentic signs of the zodiac. So I would say if you want to be seen, if you want to be heard, if you want to have that special attention from your partner, from your boss, from your friends, from the world, then be your true, authentic self. And that comes from really tapping into your heart space and getting into your heart and doing what makes your heart happy and following your bliss and following your passion and do what you love, and the money will follow. And really tapping into who you truly are and showing your authentic self, being real life, getting attacked by mosquitoes and smacking them while you're videoing, that kind of thing. Just be yourself, and that is the best way to truly shine from the heart with this Venus retrograde Leo. And because Leo loves all the fame and the glitz and the glamour, I think of like Marilyn Monroe or, Elvis Presley and all these famous people who just wanted to have all that celebrity. There can be a real draw to have luxury items with this Venus Leo retrograde. So be mindful this summer of not overspending on the things that you want. So there's a real sense, Leo has a sense of, if I want it, I deserve it. And sure, we all deserve to have everything our hearts desire and everything we want, but don't go into debt over something silly like jewels or something fancy clothing wise or artwork, because you just may overspend with this retrograde for sure. And we may see some hearts breaking, that heart, Leo, heart of the lion. There can be some real relationship heartbreak, falling in love, falling out of love, and some conscious uncoupling or breakups. I'm already seeing some people that I know that are breaking up that I never would have thought would break up. And I would say this retrograde, this Venus and Leo retrograde, is so unpredictable. We have all these retrogrades happening, and I'm covering them little by little, like the Neptune retrograde, and we'll have Uranus retrograde and Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn. My gosh, retrograde season is among us. So don't take it too seriously. If you are having relationship problems, I would say maybe this isn't the time to make that big decision to really get a divorce or do a major public display of breakup, which I'm seeing on my my social media feed. Like, people aren't just breaking up, they're doing it very publicly and dramatically in that Leo fashion. And honestly, when we get to October and Venus comes back up as morning star and she's in her divine feminine power and she's just a little more rooted and grounded in who she is and what she wants. And then Venus will move into Virgo, where she comes out of that heart, really passionate, kind of dramatic Leo energy, and she moves into Virgo in October of 2023, and then she'll have more mental clarity. And then I think some of these big blow up breakups that we're seeing in the summer of 2023, people may just get back together. I really do believe that. And so maybe don't go for the full divorce this summer. Maybe just try a trial separation or a very light breakup and then revisit it in October and make sure, are you sure that you want this breakup? Because you may find you change your mind when Venus goes out of this erratic retrograde and she rises as morning star, and she's a little more in her proper headspace when she goes into Virgo. So just with a lot of communication, you can get through these big heart moments and these lion roaring. There can be a lot of arguments under this Venus and Leo retrograde. Just see where it takes you this fall. And I thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to be doing a bunch more of these little retrograde moments. So just make sure that you like and subscribe so you stay up to date on what retrograde is happening next. Thank you and have a beautiful day.